guys, Noel here, and it is Saturday night. And after a semi-busy day, I thought it would be fun while we have a little bit of free time to do a live stream for our beloved Noel ComiX YouTube channel. Tonight, we are going to be looking at what I consider to be a pretty underrated video game console. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the ATgamesSega Genesis. That's what I'm talking about. Now, True Sinister, how's it going, man? We are live 2 nights in a row. So, we're going to be looking at the ATgamesSega Genesis. Now, I want to be fair here, okay? This right here is Rogue Drums. How's it going, man? How is it going? So, this right here is the new and improved Mega Drive Mini from Japan. What is it, like M2 that programs these things? High quality Sega-made hardware. Everything is packed in here. No, the cartridge slot is purely decorative, but this really is a shrunken down Mega Drive. No worries about missing the streams, man. You know, I understand. You know, we all have lives. I'm pretty sure I'm teaching your girlfriend's little brother right now, and he's pretty funny. So, what we're gonna be doing now, I'm saying that the new mini Segas, the Mega Drive and the Genesis, both of which I own, are fantastic. I love them. My wife got me the Mega Drive off of Play Asia for Christmas, and it's an awesome present. I really like it. But a couple years before that, I bought the ATgamesSega Genesis HD version, and I bought this at the same time I got the SNES Mini, and I actually did a video. This is actually when the channel started picking up some steam, about 3.5 years ago, almost 4 years ago. And yeah, well, I thought I saw her in the background, and I was like, is that her? I'm not quite sure. But yeah, so this ATgamesSega Genesis, I think it gets derided way too much. And why is that the case? Because right here is the SNES Mini. This thing is freaking fantastic. But I gotta tell you, I actually think I played the ATgamesSega Genesis Mini a little bit more than the SNES Mini, and I bought them at the same time. Now, there's a reason why the HD ATgamesSega Genesis gets a bad rap. And that's really because of this. Now, I don't mind this. In fact, there was a period of time where every Christmas, AtGames was coming out with a Sega Genesis and selling them at corner drugstores. And for me, I thought that was fantastic. I loved the idea of being able to go around the corner and buy a Sega Genesis for $30, and it was new, it was in the box, it had good games on it. Now, the problem is that those games were not emulated very well, mostly in terms of the sound quality. The sound quality on those things, you know, I mean, it could be worse, but it could be a hell of a lot better. It sounds like someone did a remix and fell asleep on the keyboard for the sound emulation. Now, you might like that, you might not like it, but whatever your thoughts on it are, it is not how Sega Genesis games originally sounded. The gameplay on those I found to be pretty spot on, though. My school year has been going swimmingly, man. I gotta tell you, I really like online teaching. The smaller class sizes are great. I have just about as many kids as I would have had, but half of them are in person, half of them are online. I think the kids have more choice in terms of where they want to learn, which I think is great, which I think helps their mentality and their behavior. And I think it's great. I do these live streams all the time, so I'm used to having chat going and then doing a task and going back to the chat. So I really like it. Everything is more organized. There's not a lot of paper and pencils flying around. Everything's on a Chromebook. So I got to tell you, I'm super happy. I decided Arrow, welcome. I am happy. I said at the end of last night's stream that I was thinking about. Diego! Diego is back and in the flesh, baby, right here. Diego. So what we have here is we have another Diego right here. Wait, where is it? Where are you, man? Come on. I'm trying to get my freaking. There he is, kind of. I'm trying to get my Diego Brando sticker. There it is. Yeah, my Diego Brando sticker, which I have on the one of the PVMs. So yeah, I gotta get back caught up. I was like, for a while, I was just like watching Steel Ball Run visual mangas, kind of cinemangas, like they were narrated panel by panel. And I was watching those on YouTube. They were great. And yeah, Diego Brando is a cool character, at least thus far. But it's super cool to have you back, Diego. Glad to see you. And so it looks like we got some of the old gang back together, which is great. So, where was I going with this? I don't even know. But I'll tell you one thing. The ATgamesSega Genesis, the HD version, the sound emulation is much, much, much better than the previous ATGame offerings. And the cool thing about the ATgamesSega Genesis, even the ones that had really crappy sound emulation, you see this right here? This is a very real cartridge slot, and this is a very real spot to use your actual Sega Genesis controllers. So it is very much a... sorry if my camera work sucks. This is very much a Sega Genesis. It's just the Sega Genesis that runs software in kind of hit or miss ways. But you do get to actually plug your legit cartridges in. It's got legitimate Sega branding on it. And it was great that you could just go to your corner store and pick up a Sega Genesis. Or you could pick up a stick of gum. And you kind of get what you pay for. But by the time they got to this HD model that we're going to be using tonight, I think personally it's pretty darn good. On a scale of like 1 to 100, I'd give it like an 87. And I think that would be my honest score for it. Dakota likes online learning too. The music classes I can see being a little odd. Girlfriend likes it too. She likes online. Dude, we got to keep this going. Like, I mean, honest to goodness, like, we have got to keep the online system going. Give the kids choice where they want to learn. Make the teacher's job not necessarily easier in the sense that there's less work. Sometimes there's more work, but the work that you do, I think, is less stressful because the class sizes are more manageable, and because everything is online, you organize things better. And I think it's better for your mentality and the kids' mentality as opposed to when it's like you get all these kids in front of you and it's like, which I can do it. I mean, I've done the almost 30 kids in a classroom thing, but Diego's having some issues with his internet. Not a problem, man. But what I was saying, when you have a ton of kids in a classroom and you got to do crowd control, child psychology, expertise in your content area, and the clock is ticking, that whole scenario lends itself potentially to being less organized. But when you have everything, you have like 12 kids here, 12 kids there, everything is organized in Google Documents and things like that. You walk them through it, you give them time to do it. I think everything flows a lot more smoothly. And the kids, have no excuses now about losing their work because it's all in their Chromebook and they can't lose their Chromebook. And if they do lose their Chromebook, the school's coming after them. So there you go. And you can kick the kids out of school if they're like super bad too. So, or they can just choose to go. Like, like how many times do I have a teacher at a thing like a kid's like, oh, I don't want to be here. Now I can say, okay, go home. I'll teach you from home. Just leave. There's the door. In fact, I'll tell you what we're doing. When you get home, I'll see you on the screen, So it really just opens up a lot of fun options. So yeah, it seems to be going better. Also a lot of choice in how and that's another thing too, man. The kids have choices. This is not someone saying you have to do this. I mean, you have to be in school, but it's like if you want to sit in your room and be at school, that's fine. So I love it, man. This is the most fun I think I've ever had teaching outside of doing I had some good times teaching, but this is a fun time teaching so far. We're only 2 weeks in, still the honeymoon period. Kids are still kind of nervous because they don't know where the bathrooms are and things like that. I mean, truth be told, Dakota, I don't think still knows where the bathrooms are, so I'm just teasing you, man. Diego Brando, yeah, it's a real honor to be named after Diego. Yeah, and Marlon Brando, too. Very good, very good. Well, I've rambled on here for about 10 minutes or so. We've actually got Lupin the Third going on the Retro Crush right here. Pluto TV right now is playing, they're playing American Macross. They're playing some Robotech. And it's good, but I think I'm in the mood for a little more Lupin the Third, and I'm definitely in the mood to explore the wonderful world of the AtGamesSega Genesis. A lot of the times, like the AtGames videos that I would upload on my channel, always get a lot of views. AtGames is always a pretty controversial topic. I like very much my AtGamesSega Genesis, and I have not given it enough love because compared to the new Sega Genesis and new Mega Drive, you know, the is it M2 or M3? I can't even think of who programs it now, but I'm pretty sure it's M2. You know, those new ones, those like really like the mini high quality ones that Sega puts out, those are really good. And the emulation is spot on. It's a mini Sega Genesis in the palm of your hand. But there's something charming about the AtGamesSega Genesis because it's an accessible Sega Genesis. It's a new Sega Genesis that's sold on store shelves, and you can play your cartridges in them. It comes with built-in games. M2 is what I'm thinking. Yeah, so that's what I thought. I just wasn't 100% sure. Yeah, I got love for the AtGamesSega Genesis. We're gonna take a look at it. There is some mitts with the hiss. There are some misses. I don't know what the hell was some mitts with the hiss. What the hell was that? I was gonna say there's some misses along with the hits. And now I'm just having a stroke on live stream, which is great. Have you been, my brother? I miss a lot of your epic videos, but I'm here now. Well, I'm super grateful that you're here, Diego. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you're here. I always appreciate what you bring to the live streams and the chat, and just being able to, you know, pal around and talk with you because we got a lot of common interests. And without further ado, let's play some games. And we'll see where this leads. So, we have powered on the AtGamesSega Genesis. Scoot this over here. Scoot it over a little more. Alright. Now, to get my controller. Probably lower Lupin over there. Whoop. Alright. So. Now, one weird thing that got this console a lot of criticism is its quote-unquote user interface. And that is because you don't actually use the up and down buttons on the menu screen. You use B and C for some reason, and I have no idea why. But people are so, like, coddled with their first world problems. They acted like that was the worst possible thing ever. Yes, Dakota's doing remote. I'm actually going to hit the lights. I think that's going to maybe clear up our camera a little bit here. I mean, not that I mind the blurriness, but I just want to make sure you guys can get as sharp a picture as possible here. Yeah, it's still kind of oversaturated. Either way, whatever. Okay, why don't we play... We'll start this off with some Mortal Kombat here. And do a new game. Now, again, sound quality on this might not be like 100%, but compared to like the 40% accurate of the predecessors of the AtGamesSega's, this is way better. This music here is pretty much, I would say, it's pretty indistinguishable from the Genesis version. I mean, this is the Genesis version, the Genesis cartridge version. I also said something else. I'm happy nothing crazy has happened at school. Yeah, at school with COVID. Yeah, no, yeah, so far so good, man. Everything so far so good. Those of you wondering how we're playing the ATgamesSega Genesis, we are playing this from HD to S video on a Sony Trinitron PVM. This Trinitron only has S video. This was actually my original replacement for my Amdek Color 1, my old Amdek Color 1 that I broke, because I was a freaking dumbass. So I figured when I got my replacement monitor, I was like, oh, well, I don't care if it's got RGB in it or not, because this is just a replacement for, you know, a composite monitor. And then I realized that the composite on the Amdek Color 1 is really fantastic, and the composite on this is not that great. But the S video is freaking fantastic on it. And I paid a lot of money to get this thing shipped, so I definitely want to put it to use. But it does have very, 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 very nice S-video picture quality, sharp as hell, clear as hell. Like, hell wouldn't be clear, though. It would be all foggy because of the smoke. Anyway, let's do some down, up, left, left, A, right, down. Speaking of smoke, he's a character in Mortal Kombat. So we're gonna hit these flags on. That's going to make it so that the computer can finish us if we are unfortunate. We're going to set this to as many credits as possible and easy. Very easy. Because I just want to have fun. I'm not too concerned. We're going to be Jean-Claude Van Damme over here because I want to fight Reptile. And my other favorite character, Scorpion. You can't fight Reptile with them. I will notice that the scrolling down here is slightly choppier, but nothing to concern yourself about. Gameplay smooth overall. Maybe a teeny bit less smooth than normal, but not bad at all. There's Santa and his reindeer in the background. And Phase 1 of getting Reptile is complete. Now we just need to get Phase 2 under control here. This game has a better soundtrack than the arcade version. I would say much better soundtrack than the arcade version. This is not good. Damn it. Ah, shit. Yeah, she hit me, so it's completely useless. We gotta get a double flawless. This is Reptile tells us blocking will get you nowhere. Sonya Blade and her black leotard thong, that's something I always enjoyed as a child. And still do. There we go. 1, 2, 3. That head'll grow back. She's fine. She's Namekian. Probably got to go to bed soon. Got 12 to 8 shift tomorrow. Yes. 12 to 8 shifts are nice. Sounds good, man. You'll be back home in time for Columbo. It's Reptile. This is absolutely my favorite version of Reptile. I think they really made him not as cool in the sequels. Well, so, okay, that is weird. I'm using a 6-button controller here. And I think it's because I'm using the 6-button here. When I hit block in a button, like in a fast sequence, it's doing a rewind sequence here. So that's kind of crazy. I think if I was using I'm using a real Sega Genesis 6 button on this. So I think if I was probably using their AtGames stock controller, the console would not be like thinking I was trying to rewind the game. But see what it's doing there is like I'm very fast, you know, getting up from blocking, and that's I think doing the sequence to rewind the game. But I have to block very quickly because Reptile is so fast here. She just did it again. I actually like the fact that Reptile's bottom of the pit here does not have all the limbs, because I just think it looks more aesthetically pleasing. But this is really hard playing this way. Because it... Oh, I won, though. Good night, Dakota. Thanks, Rogue Drums. I'll try to get some Doug's Fish Fry in the near future. Because I am jonesing for some ribs. Not ribs. What the hell am I talking about? Some shrimp. Why would I mix up shrimp and ribs? What the hell? What am I? I'm going insane. That's what's happening. I'm not jonesing for ribs. I mean, I could. There's nothing wrong with that. I lost. He's gonna, like, do the green smoke here, which is cool. I like to think that if this played better, I wouldn't have lost. But now that we screwed that up, we'll just be Scorpion now. So I guess it's as if we never beat Sonya. So there you go. I mean, the one of the reasons that AtGames gains criticism is that you know, while this game is good overall, definitely does not play perfectly. Yes, well. Look forward to me going there and ruining your all-you-can-eat buffet. Actually, you know what sounds good at Doug's Fish Fry is they have, like, really good lobster bisque. One thing I never liked about Mortal Kombat sequels is that I feel like they made the fatalities a lot harder to pull off. And I feel like you know, you don't want your moves to be difficult. You know, you want the game to be challenging, but you want your controls to be smooth. You don't want to feel frustrated, you know, when you're playing a game. And I don't know, I just always felt like doing those fatalities or trying to do fatalities on games past Mortal Kombat 1. I thought there was just too much going on. They were hard to do. But that could just be me. I've just played Mortal Kombat 1 so much that it's almost like second nature to me. Playing this game and then watching the Highlander on Saturday afternoons, that was living, my friends. Scorpion's gonna get his revenge. We just got Lobster Bisque back last Monday. Wow, good thing I brought that up. There's Reptile. You cannot match my speed. I remember it was such a big deal to be able to play as Reptile in Mortal Kombat 2. You know, I really loved the actual commercials. Well, both the commercials for Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, they had a great ad campaign. You know, the first Mortal Kombat had those kids running around the streets. It's like they were having, like, their little, their Gen X preteen teenager revolution with their backwards hats and their baggy pants and their baseball jerseys and their Sega Genesis controllers screaming Mortal Kombat. There was some good stuff. But, you know, it was even better, I think, even though I like Mortal Kombat 1 better than Mortal Kombat 2, was the Mortal Kombat 2 commercial where they had the actual actors, you know, dressed up as the characters. You know, they had Katana, you know, doing, like, you know, split backflips, and, like, Reptile and Sub-Zero, and then, like, Shao Kahn's there, like, screaming, Mortal Kombat! You know, it was, like, one of the best things ever. So yeah, good stuff. I remember when I was in elementary school, like in 5th grade, this kid would have, like, parties in his basement. Like, he'd always have a birthday party every year. And it was always exciting, because he'd always have, like, Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 ready to go on Sega Genesis. But then what the parties would be is basically, like, all the kids would just, like, beat each other up. Like, I'm serious. I mean, it was kind of like, it was, like, literally like a fight club for, like, 10-year-old boys. I mean, it was more or less friendly, you know. But yeah, everyone just like got into fights with each other in the basement, and it was like, okay, guys, we're all gonna fight each other, and we would really try to fight each other. Like we would like straight up be like doing our best. What the hell, man? I screwed that up. Yeah, we'd be like trying to beat each other up and stuff. I mean, it was like we were all friends, but it was like I'm gonna kick your ass kind of thing. Anyway, yeah, it was weird. And his parents were okay with it too. It's like, yeah, it's like we've got Thunderdome down in our basement with our 5th grade boy. Only the ones that survived got to have birthday cake. So, another ding on the rating of the ATgamesSega Genesis here. The music is kind of getting a little flaky here. In certain scenarios, the music is cutting out. Not like there's like an audio problem or anything, like where it's scratchy or like fading out or getting like really loud and then like just dying. Which is actually what happened with that HDMI Hyperkin cord for the PSP. Like what it would do is it would like play perfectly, and then after about 5 minutes it get really scratchy, blare out, and then not work anymore. What's happening here is like during certain sound effects, it's like the game almost can't handle certain sound effects and music at the same time. Which obviously the cartridge version has no problem. The gameplay here is fairly identical. Like I can't really notice much difference if any difference in the gameplay. Maybe the slightest of lag, but I don't see it. It just might feel like a teeny bit choppier, but I mean, it's great. My only problem is with like the blocking on this is, when you like you hit start to block and then you rush back, and like the game thinks you're trying to use the rewind feature, which I mean, it's nice that this has a rewind feature. Nice that we got to use the, get an extra hit in on him without losing our shot at the finish move. Top Hat Gaming Man just did a video on WWF in Your House. That is also made by Acclaim and does use digitized graphics, and it takes a lot of its inspiration from Mortal Kombat. And so I definitely enjoyed that video. In fact, my mom would not let me get anything past Mortal Kombat 1 because she thought it was getting... I don't know, she was just buying into all the hype of like how bad this game was or whatever. So, she wouldn't let me buy it. And it wasn't until I was in college, actually, that I got the other Mortal Kombats. Nah, maybe I was in high school. I don't know. Either way. But what I would do when I was in junior high to kind of get my fix to play Mortal Kombat is that beyond Mortal Kombat 1 was WWF In Your House. And I really like In Your House. It's a good game. I mean, obviously, all these games... I mean, this game has got some decent gameplay here. For sure. But, I mean, I think compared to Street Fighter, it's definitely lacking. Ah, come on. Just outside of his range. Or he was just outside of my range, like a stand, like a JoJo character. Incidentally, I just got a great repro cartridge of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure RPG for the Super Famicom. It's English patched. It's great. I think the next time I'm going to get like that, I'll probably get like the Akira visual novel. Yeah, I mean, to me, the Sega Genesis version really is... I mean, it's going to sound weird, but I think the Genesis version is the definitive version of Mortal Kombat. I mean, for sure, the arcade version has got better graphics. The Super Nintendo version has got more frames of animation. But I think the gameplay on the Genesis is the smoothest out of any port of Mortal Kombat. And the music is better. And, I don't know, like, all the arcade experience is there in terms of, like, the gameplay and the finish moves and whatnot. So, and I'm going to see what Sinister is saying here. Another nice thing on here is you can actually pause Mortal Kombat. Did you know that they almost had Mortal Kombat on the Turbo Graphics, but NEC was all it couldn't be done, and the guy who had the deal secured was pissed when it went on Game Gear? That is insane. Dude, I don't know why they would say that, though, because the Turbo Graphics, the PC Engine, had such a freaking good port of Street Fighter II Special Champion Edition. And, I mean, I understand that the digitized graphics at this time were considered to be very impressive, and they are impressive. But, I mean, I still think that Street Fighter II Champion Edition is more graphically impressive than this game. This was considered to be really graphically impressive just because they were using people and it had never been done. But, I mean, if you take a look at, the Street Fighter games, I mean, those are like, 16-bit animes. I mean, this thing here, like, the whole shock of seeing people fight was really thrilling. I mean, I remember playing this game and thinking to myself, like, oh my gosh, this is just like the ultimate experience, I think even at the time understood that Street Fighter 2, I didn't put it into words, but Street Fighter 2 just felt like a more polished, complete game with more depth and substance. And this was a really good game, but it was a good game more because of the spectacle of it. I mean, it played well, for sure, but it didn't play as well as Street Fighter 2. The thing of it was the whole spectacle of, it's real actors, the finish moves are, all hyped up, and the music really is great on this version of this game. I can't stress that enough, how good the soundtrack on the Sega Genesis version is. I mean, the soundtrack to the Sega Genesis version of Mortal Kombat, and then the dance CD that came out with this, with the the different dance club songs that's based off of each one a different Mortal Kombat character, like Scorpion's the Lost Soul bent on revenge, and Sub-Zero's the Chinese Ninja Warrior, and Kano, it's like, use your mind, Kano, fight, I'm on your side. And then it starts talking about how he's the bad guy, but the singer's still feels for him, Yeah, that was some great stuff. Same guy wanted Champion Edition in the U.S., but they weren't willing to spend... What do you mean spend the money? It was already out. What do they got to do? Just, convert the text to English? You know what, dude? TurboGrafx, I can't understand NEC's American division here, because, I mean, listen, I'm a big Sega fan. I'm really happy that Sega did so well in the United States, but, it could have been a really interesting three-person race had TurboGrafx actually, brought its good material out here. Ah, shit. See, what I did there is, I accidentally hit the start button and the D-pad in an awkward way. The game rewound. Yeah, I mean, Mega Drive was always the clear number 3 in Japan for a couple of reasons. I think mainly because, Famicom and then the PC Engine got a good head start on them, and, the Famicom had been the number 1 system. Then the PC Engine, after about a decade, of the Famicom being powerful and prominent, and then, the PC Engine was the industry leader for a minute over there. And so, the Mega Drive was always like, okay, well, now this is a cool, slightly scaled back version of the Genesis, of the Sega arcade scene. And, incredible quality to the system, but, I mean, it was a bigger system, too. People in Japan tend to like smaller consoles, but, I don't know, I just think, it's not that Sega did, poorly in Japan, it was just that, they were the clear number 3, and in the United States, they were the industry leader. But, you know, who knows what PC Engine could have done here if they actually, you know, I don't know, used the Japanese box art and actually released the good Japanese games. That's what Sega did. You know, that's the one reason why Genesis jumped ahead so much is like Tom Kalinske, or I don't even know if Kalinske was in charge yet, but, you know, they were like, you know, we're just going to bring over everything we got. You know, so they brought over like Phantasy Star 2, they brought over Timeless Sword of Baseball. You know, they just Altered Beast. You know, just every Japanese game they had, you know, they just were early going, just bringing it out. And so, like, Sega brought out the good Japanese games, whereas, like, NEC just left them sitting in Japan, you know. I mean, they still had some good stuff for sure, but... Damn it! Ugh. Damn it, man. I almost had him. He's on danger, too. You know, Santino tends to get scared of boss characters. When I was younger, I used to get scared of Goro. Like, thinking about him dropping down. Nice dramatic tension. Well, I got a flawless victory there. Yeah, that's freaking ridiculous, dude. If Turbo Graphics had its own port of Mortal Kombat, and they also would have considered bringing out you know, their version of Champion Edition here, that would have, I don't know, potential game changer, but I don't know, it's weird. Sounds like they had like someone with sounds like they had like a Bernie Stolar type running NEC of America, you know, like yeah, this isn't going well. This system isn't our future. I'm done. I don't know, man, this is freaking terrible. Shang Tsung. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely... I'm a big mark for the Sega Saturn. Like, my mom, that was... So, you know, one of the best things my mom ever could have done for me is send me to an evangelical Christian high school and junior high. But originally, I was pretty upset because I wasn't going to be with my elementary school friends. So to make it up to me, she bought me a Sega Saturn. And so I was a big Sega Saturn person, and I still am to this day. It's probably my favorite console, but you know, it was really mishandled in North America. Marked for death years ago by the Lin Kuei, Scorpion was murdered by Sub-Zero, who left behind a wife and child. Blah blah blah. I was allowed to return to his former life. Even with Scorpion's triumph in the new tournament and title of Grand Champion, the price he paid was high. He can never again know his family and must forever exist with his secret curse. Goro is such a bitch to beat. I jumped the first time he jumped down because I was expecting to see the ladder. Yeah, for sure, man. Liz Malecki. What's crazy, too, that I didn't realize till, you know, I was much older, like, was that Goro is literally the size of a pencil. He's like a stop-motion video action figure. So definitely, I mean, outside of a couple hiccups here and there, I think this handles Mortal Kombat competently. But here's the deal, man. I mean, if you compare the ATgamesSega Genesis HD version's emulation to the, you know, the M2 Mega Drive and Genesis, you know, you have like a B+ or A- compared to an A or A+, you know, so I mean, that's the main difference here. And then people just, you know, crap on ATgames because they think it's cool or whatever. But, I mean, listen, if you want to get a good sampling of these Sega games in an officially licensed Sega product, get a new Sega Genesis, you know, freaking go for it, man. The other cool thing about the ATgamesSega Genesis is that it comes with Master System games like Psycho Fox. Yeah, M2 version has no MK. That's another thing I wanted to say too, is the M2 version has less games but emulates them perfectly or near perfectly. The AtGames version has a lot of games and emulates them with varying quality. So with AtGames, you're definitely going to get more variety, and you actually get more than just the Sega Genesis. Like, this thing's got Master System and Game Gear games on it, but not all the games are going to play perfectly. They're just kind of happy to have them on here, and they're gonna play them as well as their hardware can play them. So this game is often considered kind of a precursor to Sonic the Hedgehog. Sega was definitely kind of looking for a real rival to Super Mario. And I mean, they definitely had Alex Kidd, but you could kind of see them starting to experiment with kind of cute animal mascots. And Psycho Fox definitely is a really, really competent take on the Mario platformer style. Now, the thing with Psycho Fox is it does not play as smoothly as Mario. And the big thing here is the jumping is really awkward. I mean, you could look at it in one of two ways. That you have more control over the jump because it's so... Damn it. I thought I would hit him okay. You could look at it one of two ways. With Mario, the jumping and running is very, very fluid. With Psycho Fox, the jumping and running, you have to get momentum to really get your jump to do what you want. You have to like really hold down the direction pad in order to make sure that your jump is, how you want it to be. The other thing that's cool about Psycho Fox is, like, you do have this kind of system in place where you can tag in your other, like, little animal buddies. Plus, the name Psycho Fox is cool. The guy sounds like he's a Metal Gear Solid, villain or something like that. As opposed to just being an adorable little fox here. Santino really likes Psycho Fox. Santino and I had a lot of great father-son bonding with this AtGamesSega Genesis here. Damn it! Oh, good, my little buddy protected me. Oh, man, I always forget about that. Actual Sega Genesis could not produce the amount of colors that the Game Gear could. Interesting. Yeah, Game Gear, Game Gear is essentially a portable Master System. The big thing the Sega Genesis had going for it was its game lineup and the the fast, fluid gameplay that the Sega Genesis had. That's a real thing, man. And while the color palette on the Sega Genesis, while the color palette on the Sega Genesis may have been weaker than its competitors, the Sega Genesis could be, kind of manipulated and programmed in such ways as that, you can't even really tell. Like Sonic the Hedgehog, I would argue, is a much more vibrant game than the Super Mario Brothers games. But, this is a Master System game, and it definitely has very vibrant colors. By the way, the other night, I super chatted Vince Russo, what the hell, on his live and asked him why. Oh, dude, I'm pausing this here. I gotta read this here. I should play Ninja Gaiden. I don't know if I have Ninja Gaiden, man. I have Ninja Gaiden on the Xbox, but I don't know if I have, like, the good old school Ninja Gaidens. Alright, let me see this here. I super chatted Vince Russo and asked him why, hang on. I asked him why that faction didn't use the NWO name, and he legit couldn't remember what I was talking about. Wait, which faction are you talking about, man? Like New Blood? Cause, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, that's really interesting that you talked to Vince Russo. I'd love to pick Vince Russo's brain. The biggest thing I would ask Vince Russo is why did the New Blood versus Millionaires Club storyline just randomly disappear? Because I was really digging that storyline. I mean, I was Team WCW hardcore, man. Like, it's not that I boycotted WWF. I prefer WCW. And, I mean, I'll say at the time, like, because I was going to a Christian high school, I mean, and I still am, very religious, but I think I was more into, at the time, like, oh, WWF has got, like, bad stuff on it, so I shouldn't watch it. I should watch WCW more. But I just, like, legitimately liked WCW better, and then when WCW and WWF, merged, I went over to start watching WWF, and, it was good. I don't know, man. I like WCW better, though. I mean, I was really into WWF when the NWO went over, though. That was some real dream match stuff there, and they screwed that up by turning Hogan babyface. And like the thing that like really bothers me is like, oh well, he ran The Rock over with a car and people still cheered him. It's like, yeah, dude, like Austin was a babyface heel too, and he's the guy that you built your whole company around. So why can't Hogan be a babyface heel? I wanted to say Jarrett Nash Steiner united. Hang on, let me see what you're saying, man. Jarrett Nash and the Steiner Harris brothers united sometime after the Hogan Bash at the Beach incident. They had a War Games on Nitro. I want to say they were going against Booker T, Chronic, but definitely Goldberg. Dude, I don't know if I remember that. I believe you completely. But you know why I think I don't remember that? Is that I would say Nitro at that time's storytelling was very inconsistent after the New Blood story. So the New Blood and Millionaires story, New Blood and Millionaires Club storyline, I thought was excellent. I thought that was some of my favorite wrestling ever. I thought the storyline was cool. I thought pairing Hogan against Billy Kidman was odd. I would have paired Hogan against Scott Steiner. I thought that would have made a lot more sense, considering that at one point Hogan had appointed Scott Steiner the head of the NWO before the finger poke of doom. So I thought it would have been... Although Hogan was probably afraid to work with Scott Steiner. Not that Hogan's a wuss, but I don't remember it either. Wasn't watching. Well, then how do you know what happened? Or did you just see it on YouTube and then... like years later see it on YouTube and you're like, oh man, you should have done this. Yeah, I would. So no, like I was watching, and I remember them doing stuff like that. But then, like I remember, like after Bash at the Beach 2000. Sorry for yawning. After Bash at the Beach 2000, it was just like it was pretty random shit, man. Also, Tony Schiavone didn't seem to remember this time either, judging by an episode he had with Conrad. No, it's true. You know why no one remembers this stuff is because the stuff would change too much. Like, dude, I shit you not. I tuned into Nitro religiously every week, especially during the Millionaires Club Millionaires Club New Blood storyline. I thought it was super cool. I saw it on YouTube and watched what I missed on the network. Cool. I remember, like, I used to watch it every week. My friend and I would, like, talk about it. I remember, like, we'd play, like, Marvel vs. Capcom, Final Fantasy VIII, and, like, WCW Nitro. You know, we'd joke about Nitro, like, 3 Count, and Tank Abbott were really, really funny. I remember one time, like, just like eating pizza, with my best friend in the backyard, and we were just like talking about Nitro and talking about Final Fantasy, and it was great, man. And then after that Bash at the Beach, I just remember Nitro's was like I'd tune in one week and like storylines were just gone, you know, or like Bret Hart would show up and then he'd never be mentioned again. Like you'd like get really excited because it's like, oh, whoa, shit, Bret Hart's back, you know, and then like he'd never be seen again, you know, or like all of a sudden like the whole structure of the storyline is gone, you know. A lot of old review episodes and it's on YouTube. I read a lot of old reviews. No, that's awesome, man. I like that. Like in the Observer, I tuned out after Bash at the Beach. I started watching again when Flair became kayfabe CEO of WWE. I mean WWE. Yeah, wait, no, it's still WWF when Flair went over. Like to when like it was like I think like right before the NWO came over. And McMahon got kind of, you know, ousted, and Flair was in charge, and then McMahon, to attack Ric Flair, brought in the NWO. Are you talking about the time when Ric Flair was the president of WCW, and he was screaming that he was the president of the United States? Which was really, really funny. WCW. Yeah, man, I don't know, but like, I liked Ric Flair as president of WCW. I thought it was funny. Hey, Nick Darling, how the hell are you doing, man? We're just talking about wrestling. Steiner was top heel. Yeah, I remember like when Steiner was a top heel. Oh, one thing about Psycho Fox you can do is you can like be these different characters here. Maybe I should try to do that. Damn it. Yeah, the controls on this are not as smooth as... And, I mean, I'm playing this on the ATgames, so, I mean, maybe if I played this on a Game Gear, maybe the controls would be a little smoother. I don't know, but I don't think so. Who knows, man? I mean, it plays well, but definitely, you don't have the... It's not the same kind of quick reaction time you get with Mario or Sonic. Definitely, it kind of feels like you're floating in water, but if you can, like, learn how to swim, the game is fun. Jeez. There we go. But yeah, the weird thing about Nitro at that time in the 2000s, like early 2000, like 2000, 2001 kind of thing, is like, they just drop storylines out of nowhere. You know, and I mean, honestly, like, if you watch WWF at that time, like, I mean, and I have, I think it's like I have WrestleMania 2000, I think, on VHS, and I remember watching that and thinking to myself, like, because I bought that after, I think, WCW went out of business, and, I remember thinking to myself, like, okay, well, I'm gonna see how good WWF really was, and I remember watching that WrestleMania and thinking, like, this really isn't that good, you know? Like, they've got their handful of guys that are interesting, and like when Vince Russo was writing, I mean, he was really good, I think, at giving people different stuff to do, and really kind of tapping into that Jerry Springer zeitgeist, or, you know, I remember, like, turning the channel to Vince Russo era WWF whenever there'd be a boring part on Nitro or something like that, and really enjoying it, and then I turned back to Nitro because Nitro always felt like the more substantive show, and to me, WWF always felt more like the, you know, I felt like the B show, man. Like, I mean, I know I'm in the minority for that, but I always felt like WWF was, you know, the lesser product, and then WCW just imploded, and WWF just really kind of doubled down on their promotional, you know, synthesis of WCW's apocalyptic, stable-based storytelling, and then ECW's kind of shock value and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. They just ended up becoming a big phenomenon, and they had great production values in WWF. And I don't know, man. WCW just lost focus, and it was sad too, because I prefer WCW, and I wish that, I don't know, I wish that Bischoff had his head in the game more when McMahon started gaining momentum, and I I don't know. I think if Bischoff did have his head in the game, you know what I would have done if I was in Eric Bischoff's shoes and Vince McMahon started copying my formula? I would, of course, hindsight's 2020, so what I say isn't even going to matter. What I would have done is I would have just stayed composed. I would have kept doing what's working. I would have tried to stay different, like keep your diversity, keep that smorgasbord style booking going. You like McMahon is copying you, so do the stuff that he's copying better than he's doing it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if he's got sexy girls, get sexier girls. He gets Mike Tyson, get Evander Holyfield, like that kind of thing. But then, the NWO story should have had some, I don't know if, like, resolution in a sense of ending it, but you needed to give the NWO a show, or end it. And then you needed to book Bret Hart, like a legit champion, And, I mean, I don't know, like, I don't know if who would have won and who would have lost, but I think that formula would have definitely been better for WCW than what they did. If WCW had owners like Impact or AEW have, they could have lasted a lot longer regardless of failures. The problem with WCW is that they even at their lowest peak, I mean, that doesn't even make sense. Even at their lowest point, right? What they have, like 3 million viewers, 2 million viewers. WWF would kill for those numbers. You know what I'm saying? WWF is like, as of right now, it's some of the worst wrestling I've ever seen. I've never seen WWF worse than it is now, in my opinion, and which is just nothing. It's just my opinion. Like, I mean, like Doink the Clown and all that stuff. I will take the WWF new generation that couldn't sell out a high school gym 1,000,000 times as opposed to the stuff they got now. This stale, I don't know. I feel like it's stale and lifeless and unengaging, and I don't like it. Let's play Aeroflash. But at least with like new generation, I mean, you had real colorful characters like Lex Luger and Bret Hart, Razor Ramon. I think New Blood ended because Bischoff left with Hogan. Is that? Yeah, but that doesn't even make sense, though, man. Like, I guess that kind of makes sense, but did they ever explain that? And even then, I still don't think that makes that much sense, because Bischoff was only one part of the New Blood. It was like Bischoff and Russo. So, if Bischoff leaves, what? Like, he's just one dude. Like, they never had it so that, like, the New Blood doesn't exist without Eric Bischoff. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I missed something, but I always felt like Bischoff was a big part of the New Blood, but like in the NWO, if when Ted DiBiase left the NWO, which was incredibly stupid, by the way, they never ever should have done that, because DiBiase's a freaking awesome heel, and the whole idea. This is one thing that bothers me about Eric Bischoff. He doesn't understand why he was successful. Like, I've heard him say, like, oh, well, having DiBiase be the $1 trillion man in the NWO was stupid. It's like, no, you idiot. It wasn't stupid. It worked, and it made sense for this reason. You know how Ted Turner is the financial backer of WCW? Like, that was DiBiase, okay? Like, they literally had their own evil version of Ted Turner, who was at WWF. No, I thought Russo was the leader of that faction. It was like a co-thing of Russo and Bischoff. And, yeah, that's what I thought, at least. I could be wrong. But anyway, I thought that DiBiase being in the... First of all, DiBiase's great on the mic. And the fact that, like, Bischoff came in as, like, the kind of... as a member of the NWO, that doesn't mean that DiBiase is displaced. It just means that DiBiase's the money guy, and Bischoff is the corporate guy, and DiBiase as the money guy in the NWO, I thought made perfect sense. In fact, they would have had DiBiase managing, just have him be right out there at ringside with NWO guys. So I don't know, man. Bischoff and Russo were co-leaders. Look at it this way. Look at it like this. You already had Natural Born Thrillers, MIA Filthy Animals. Bischoff and Russo were co-leaders. Yeah, I still would have kept it going, man. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I would have definitely kept that storyline going. All right, let's play some Arrow Flash here. Do some shmupping. Give me as many players as you can. Some commissioners become faces gradually. Yeah, but Russo was never a face, dude. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I just felt like that didn't make any sense. And I'm not saying that your explanations aren't right. I'm just saying, for me, they're not satisfactory. And I think putting DiBiase with the Steiner brothers was stupid. Because then what did they do? They turned Scott Steiner heel. You know, I don't know, man. Like, and I'm not saying Scott Steiner turning heel was a bad thing. But wouldn't it have been better for, like, DiBiase to turn Scott Steiner heel? You know, remember like, watching clips, like, pretty recently of DiBiase's $1 Million Corporation, you know, during the New Generation, and, you know, he'd get guys to come in, like Tatanka or whatever. It's like, just do that with the NWO, man. The cool thing, you know why WCW was kicking Vince McMahon's ass for so long, is that they were doing Vince McMahon's formula better than Vince McMahon, you know? I mean, they were being original, too. But Vince McMahon's whole thing was like, I'm more AWA than the AWA. So what they did was they got a bunch of, like the best WWF guys and, like, you know, made them cooler. You know, so they had, like, the WWF, New Generation, coupled with the best of, you know, the 80s WWF. And then they just made them, like, these, like, badass apocalyptic versions of themselves. And Vince McMahon did start doing that. You know, like, with the Big Boss Man and British Bulldog and stuff. But, you know, he had really stood on a lot of Bischoff's work. But Bischoff, I don't know, a lot of what Bischoff did, I don't even think he understood what he did. He was just a smart guy who was, like, doing a lot of things right intuitively. And then when it came time to dig deep, I don't think he had time to really be introspective enough because of all the corporate bullshit that was going on at Time Warner at the time. He was getting sucked up in it. Pro wrestlers backstage were misbehaving, and he just, you know, got overwhelmed. Also, I think in Hogan's absence, they had to make Goldberg face after he joined New Blood. I'm trying to piece together everything from pure memory out of the top of my head. Yeah, but I don't know, man. You see, what I would have done in that situation is I would have made someone else a baby face, you know, or I would have turned Goldberg face and had him feud with someone in the New Blood, you know. The biggest thing that's, like, hurt WCW though is, well, the biggest thing that hurt WCW was Time Warner, but in the AOL merger. But the poor booking of Bret Hart, that is an understated, like, that if they had booked Bret Hart properly, they could have done serious or fatal damage to the WWF. But instead, they had all the momentum in the world. And once they had Bret Hart, you know, that could have been a killing blow to the WWF, but they just essentially turned Bret Hart from the hottest commodity in pro wrestling, the guy that they could have had the most dream matches with, really, to just a mid-card dude. And it seemed like they were, like, building stuff up with Bret Hart. And I mean, some of it was, like, upper mid-card stuff, too, right? Like, I mean, he worked with Sting, which was good. But it would have been better had he worked with Sting, you know, with higher stakes, you know? Or like that stuff where he was teaming up with Hogan, like that was, I thought that stuff was actually really cool. But what, like, where is it going, dude? Like, make Hogan and Bret Hart a tag team. You know what I'm saying? And then like have them turn on one of them turn, and then do some matches with that, or have Bret Hart, you know, if you're gonna put him in the NWO, which, you know, you could argue is kind of a momentum killer. You know, but you got to like do that to, you know, kind of build up a turn on Hogan. Like maybe he's like tricking Hogan or something like that. They didn't do any of that, man. They're like having Bret Hart fight Conan and Booker T. And I love Booker T, don't get me wrong, but I was not wise, dude. Flair left TV too. No. Well, Flair came back for the last Nitro. I remember that last Nitro, man. I did not expect to see Vince McMahon on Turner Television. It was the most surreal thing I'd ever seen in pro wrestling. Like I said, I think Steve Austin's kind of overrated personally, which is like a super unpopular thing to say. But I mean, I always thought that his character lacked depth. You know, I thought Hogan's character was much more interesting. You know, the hero that time kind of left in the dust. You know, the fans turned on him. He didn't do anything wrong, so he was like, "All right, you want a bad guy? You want me to give you what you? I'll give you what I want, what you want. I'll get what I want in the process." You know, so the whole psychology behind the turn to Hollywood Hogan, and then him using all of his powers for evil instead of good was, I thought that was really interesting. Steve Austin was just a Jerry Springer character who was living in a crazy world and was crazy himself. And I mean, there was some character development there, like, you know, when he decided to rescue Stephanie McMahon and stuff like that. I mean, there's definitely some good writing there, but you can kind of tell that also didn't have much direction, right? You know, with Vince McMahon being the head of the Ministry of Darkness. Now, truth be told, I mean, I didn't follow that story as thoroughly as the NWO stories, but again, it was just kind of weird, you know, like, you go through this really interesting plot where, you know, you had McMahon and Austin, which was an okay story, you know. I mean, it was entertaining, but it wasn't anything that groundbreaking. I mean, and it was kind of a little desperate, too, because basically what had happened was Vince McMahon, I think out of desperation, had to put himself on camera, because he was out of talent. Pretty much everyone else had gone to WCW. But, you know, I mean, they were telling a good story, and, you know, then all of a sudden it's like Vince McMahon's daughter's kidnapped and he's got to get the ultimate guy to save his daughter. And who's the ultimate guy he can think of? The guy who keeps foiling his plans, right? So, I mean, that's a really compelling story right there. But then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, I orchestrated the whole thing. It was me all along, Austin. You know, it's like what? You know, like, it doesn't even make sense. So, I don't know. I'd always heard that Christopher Daniels was actually supposed to be the leader of the Ministry of Darkness, and then they decided against that. But I mean, I thought that could have been kind of interesting. You know, probably would have made more sense to have Christopher Daniels and Vince McMahon. But it would have made more sense to have, you know, someone more established than both of them. You know. Shawn Michaels, I think, could have been a decent choice. Alright, Arrow Flash is fun, but let's see what else we got here. Chicane the Forever Man. Let's do that, actually. Let's just play some Chicane. So, I know a friend of the guy who made the Chicane the Forever Man comic book. And we were actually drawing at a comic con together at Heroes and Villains Comics, located conveniently on 75 East Court Street. And he was telling me, like, how, you know, the guy who made Chicane the Forever Man, like, how he was I don't know, like remembering or dealing with, remembering how he dealt with the Sega Genesis game developers, and it was an interesting conversation for sure. And I want to say that this game, I don't know for sure, but it plays a lot like the X-Men on Sega Genesis game. With the kind of jumps that Shakan does, and even some of the sound effects. So, I like this game a lot. It's very difficult. I'm not good at it. But also just the name Shakan the Forever Man is like one of the coolest names I can possibly think of. And I really like this opening as well. So the story of this game is this fighter wins a duel with death and then ends up becoming immortal, which means he can never die, which becomes a curse. I am cursed to live until all supernatural evil is destroyed. I hunt and fight and kill until the end of my curse. Only then will I be able to seek solitude and forever rest. So I remember like the end of this game. I never got to it, but I liked the story so much I like looked it up on YouTube. And like there's like whole universes of evil that Shakan has never even touched, so it's like he can never die. Like even though he beats all the bad guys in this game and thinks he can finally now rest in peace, there's like so much he hasn't even begun to do. Really cool design here as well. I'm gonna put this on practice mode. I didn't even realize this went down as low as practice. See, this kind of jump here, like reminds me of Sega, of like the X-Men on Sega Genesis here. Nice haunting music as well. She is known as Elkenrod. She was once a beautiful healer who cured the sick and soothed those in pain. Now, on the side of darkness, Elkenrod feeds on pain and suffering of her captives. The greater their suffering, the more power she wields. Speaking of heel turns, nice soundtrack here. Yeah, I mean, even the soundtrack of this game just sounds a lot like X-Men. Well, I thought I was on that platform, dude. Yeah, that wow, wow. Those are all sounds heavily featured in Sega Genesis X-Men. I mean, the guy who I was talking to had, he had said that the creators were the same, but I mean, that's not exactly like super confirmation or anything. That, like, the friend of the guy who made the game said that the same people who made X-Men made this. Gosh darn it, man. Dude, and this is, like, on the easiest mode, too. And it's still giving me problems. I don't know if I'm going the right way or not. I'm just trudging forward here. Well, here's a sea of bats. Yeah, this looks promising. New villains to fight. Please be health. I don't know what that is. Curse these 16-bit side-scrollers and their dead ends. Probably gonna go down pretty soon. I've only got like one little health thing left here. Ah, darn it. Yeah, let's try it again. I think with this game too, I don't even know if you can get a game over in this game. Because I think Shakan is immortal. I think the game is just insanely hard to the point where you just give up trying. Alright, well, we'll give Shakan one more go through here. So many bats. And not just any bats either. Red bats. So I'm friends with an elderly Batman cosplayer. And that's just as fun as it sounds. And he was like going on about how he really wanted this red Batman costume because it was used in an Italian poster for a Batman movie where Batman had a red costume because they colored it wrong. And it sounds actually really interesting. So, but I say that because they just had red bats there. Alright, why don't we play some... do some Mortal Kombat 3. That's actually a pretty good port. Shadow Dancer, that's a good game. Ooh, could play some Sonic 3D Blast. Let's do that. On the Genesis. See how it looks on the Sony Trinitron here. It already looks pretty damn sharp. Yeah, full motion video on the Sega Genesis. Freaking fantastic here. Saturn version of this game is really good. It's really interesting, though, because there's some tracks on this game that are really good that aren't on the Saturn version, but Saturn's soundtrack to this game is really, really good. It's like, it's kind of like that Mortal Kombat arcade versus Mortal Kombat Sega Genesis. It's like they're two different packages and, you know, two different experiences. And when you're in both worlds, you enjoy each world's version of the events and each version of the music. Take a look at how good Sonic looks here. This is like freaking 1989 hardware here. This version actually has a little bit more storytelling than the Saturn version. But the Saturn version has beautiful FMV music too. And again, its CD soundtrack sounds very different. But still really good. You know what I think some of the audio problem might be? And this might be completely my bad. And I want to apologize if this is the case. I don't know if I have both stereo jacks plugged in. Because this is a mono TV, a mono monitor that I'm playing this on. So, I'm wondering if sometimes the game would be missing sound, isn't because of poor emulation, although the ATgames consoles are noted for having terrible sound emulation. It could just be because I might not have a jack plugged in if I'm thinking the right way. I think I only plugged in one stereo jack because this is a mono set here. And I had to get I would have to pull out a 2-to-1. Controls are a little slippery and awkward in Sonic 3D Blast. I mean, nothing really bad, but you know, compared to how smooth and responsive Sonic was in his 2D ventures. This game is it was Flicky's Island in Japan. It didn't actually come out until around the same time Sonic Adventure came out on the Dreamcast. It's really weird because this game was originally supposed to be Sonic Extreme. Once again, if you have not seen Sonic Extreme's backstory, definitely check that out. That is some fascinating stuff. See how the controls are just a little slippery, like, you know, getting that ring was a bit of an ordeal, you know? So basically what you have to do is you gotta find all the bad guys necessary to fill that ring. And then also you can find Tails and Knuckles hanging around, and you get enough rings, they'll fly to a special stage. They're kind of like little banks of rings. Alright, there's that. I really do like Sonic's design in this game, though. The pre-rendered graphics make him look nice. And, but it's still, like, you know, kind of cute, pissed off, and relatable all at the same time. The other thing in this game is you can't get too close to the boss characters or the just general bad guy characters, because if you're not careful, you'll lose your flickies. That looks like I was going the wrong way. Yeah, this game definitely more methodical than the previous Sonic ever. It's really weird, you know, how Sega wanted to kind of slow down Sonic at a certain point. You know, whereas in Sonic Success, it was just that he was like so fast, you know. And they did keep that in Sonic Mania, but there was like a stealth Sonic game in development shortly for the Genesis. Like, people were like looking at that as a potential Sonic Extreme. Going to pause this and grab a snack. Take a little bit of a field trip, and we'll venture to the kitchen. It is getting a little late. I've been pretty much doing these live streams, rounding out at about an hour and 48 minutes. I mean, sometimes we do them for like 2 hours, but, you know, with my new sleeping schedule, you know, definitely have been going to sleep earlier. Ooh, coffee. Don't worry, this is decaf. But, fun fact, my wife, at the, her grocery store order, they gave her too many chocolate-covered pretzels. That's a shame. You know, it's a shame for me, because I'm going to end up getting type 2 diabetes from gorging myself on these. But, actually, I already got a pack open. This is a problem. So, it's kind of weird, though, because it's getting so late, and because Sonic 3D Blast is such a chill game, you know, I'm starting to get a little drowsy. Now, plus it's getting a little late, but, like, not really late for Saturday night standards. You know, another system by ATgames that it might be fun to stream on would be the Atari 2600, which I actually bought Santino. We actually have it in the living room, and yeah, it's got a decent lineup on it for sure. It's got bowling. That's what I like to play. Atari bowling. It's very relaxing. Like a stick figure throwing a square bowling ball into vertical lines. Just as good as it sounds. This is exciting television here. Anyway, we should play some 16-bit Virtua Fighter. Let's get to it. Grab our JoJo cup. Now, if you want to, let's get back to the menu on this. You got a 6-button controller. Just hit the mode button and down. That'll get you where you need to go. Very nice. Except you don't have Sonic 3 because of Michael Jackson. But you do get all the Sega Genesis Sonics except for 3, plus You get these Game Gear ones, too, which is nice. And then to kind of scroll through the games, you gotta, for the categories, you gotta use A and C, and then you gotta use left and right for navigating for the games on the menu screen. Golden Axe 3. Kid Chameleon. All the Fantasy Stars. Really good choice of games here. Shining Force 2. Very, very good. And then Virtua Fighter 2. Quality title here. I had heard that the sequel to Eternal Champions got canceled because of Virtua Fighter 2 on the Genesis. It's Dural. This game plays well. And the interesting thing about this game, too, is how they, they knew they were going to be able to actually get a 3D version of Virtua Fighter on the Genesis. So what they did was they pretty much tried to get the same experience. So, okay, here's a big plane that you can at least go back and forth out on, that you can actually get knocked out on. And, while this game doesn't have, like, the big sprites of a game like Street Fighter, the sprites are actually really nicely detailed and fit in well with the, they fit in well with the levels. Nice soundtrack on this game as well. Incidentally, if you want to play as Dural on this game, just keep hitting left and right. Highlight Akira and keep hitting left and right. You'll go back and forth between Jackie and Akira, and eventually it'll hit to Dural. Pychon is always where the learning curve on the game starts going up. Yeah, so she can be a big pain. Just run out the clock here. Good job for the Sega for really getting the character portraits down well. Jeffrey. But, this really, despite not having polygon graphics, this is a really good Genesis game. I mean, if you're taking a look at the fighter library on the Genesis, this needs to be included in a serious way and be given, good credit for it as well. You never had a chance, human. Well, mother and son are beating each other. That's nice. I have not seen all of the Virtua Fighter anime, but from what I've seen, I really like. And it's on Pluto TV. No, it's not on Pluto. It's on Retro Crush. Come on, move. Yeah, Retro Crush is great. I saw that they have Kite on there, which, they're apparently making you, upgrade to watch, which is kind of lame. Hey, Kevin! Yeah, well, I know I'm doing it late. I mean, actually, I'm getting pretty tired. So, I was actually thinking about turning in after Virtua Fighter or the game after Virtua Fighter if I'm a little more awake. I mean, I haven't been falling asleep and rambling incoherently, but definitely I am starting to feel the sleepies. And, part of that's because, like, if I'm playing a slower moving game or a game with more relaxing music, that will start to make me get tired, especially this late at night. Yeah, I was playing some Sonic 3D Blast on the Genesis. Our main theme for this stream is the ATgamesSega Genesis. And so we're playing Virtua Fighter 2 right now. And we've just won. And one of the things that's helping me stay awake is the fast-paced action of Virtua Fighter 2 versus the more slow-moving, pleasant action of Sonic 3D Blast. It's Jackie! Come on! Jackie looking like a Super Saiyan and also a master of Jeet Kune Do. Weird thing here is there's like no sidestepping, which is, fine. I'm just kind of used to doing it. Especially on Virtua Fighter. Kevin, hopefully you've been well. Like a Jackie all of a sudden being a biatch here. Ugh. Definitely beat me that time. Hopefully this won't turn into sub-boss rage here. So far, so good. Be careful here. This should work out okay. Yeah, had too much of a lead on him. Just worked the clock. These days, I'm playing the back. Hang on. I remember these days playing this back in the day. I might fire up my PS Vita. Cool, man. Yeah, we are playing this on the ATgamesSega Genesis HD version, which I actually think is a pretty damn good console. Pretty good, not perfect by any means. Said earlier in the program tonight I'd give this probably an 87 or to a 90 for its performance and presentation. Yeah, ran out of time. No wolf. Oh! Alright, we've got a few more fights till we get to the other draw. This game even tries to maintain the kind of floaty physics of the polygon Virtua Fighter. Come on. Ah, damn it. So I'm trying to wind up for a clothesline there. Another reason why I'm a bit tired is my mom got her wedding vows renewed today. So we had a little wedding party. Now that the rest of my family's all asleep, I figured, you know, I'll do a stream. Yeah. Nothing beats working the clock. You too, man. I'm gonna hit the hay after I beat this game. You take care, man. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. He's almost the final boss. Kira is rocking his Virtua Fighter anime colors here. Oh man, I'm so close. Ah man. Got greedy. Try to jump behind him and then try to push him out of the ring, but it's too damn good. One of my biggest pet peeves in fighting games is when you feel like it's like, oh, the computer now knows my moves. I'd like to try to beat this game before we wrap this up, since we only really have like 1 or 2 more fights here. Come on. Normally what I do is I try to get a head full of steam and go for a clothesline here, but that doesn't seem to be working. I think he's ahead of me. Yeah. Almost had him. I try blocking sometimes. Blocking on this game is not always the easiest thing to do. Not so much that like the controls are bad. It's just that, you know, tend to leave yourself open for a big move. You always take big damage. All right, so we definitely won that time. Try next stage. Ooh. Underwater blue drawl. So with the drawl, you only get 1 shot to fight her. And it's got to be really good or really lucky or both. Man, come on, come on. Got her, alright. So, we get the good ending here, which is just nothing but credits, I would assume. Yep. Now, on the 32X version of Virtua Fighter 1, you know, you always fight Dural an extra round. So if you're fighting the normal characters 1 round, Dural will make you fight her 2 rounds. But it looks like here, because it's you know, a lower key console, they just think, yeah, whatever. All right. Okay, gang. So I think that's gonna probably do it. Again, I'm getting pretty drowsy right now, and this is actually about the same time for our last live stream that we wrapped it up. So rather than keep this going, which I am having a very fun time doing, I can already feel myself start to kind of fade in terms of my coherence. So I'll take that as a cue to probably get some sleep. And, you know, I will definitely, you know, keep pumping out the good content on the YouTube channel. I've got some, I'm going to actually redub my teaching comic. I've touched up the color, not so much the colors, but the designs, and tried to make it flow a little more smoothly. I'm going to upload that I narrate. Always be on the lookout. I'm going to do some video game reviews. I got to do a video game review of Final Fantasy VIII in the near future, because we are now, I think, at 820 subscribers, which is really nice. So we're going to try to keep that going. Let's try to get to 1,000 ASAP. Yeah, always be on the lookout for artwork and all that goodness. So yeah. Oh, one thing before I go. Here's I was cleaning out St. Anthony's Church today, and I found this really cool tape rack. It kind of just curves. Take a look at these quality titles here, like Michael Jackson and Culture Club, Corey Hart, Paula Abdul, and so on and so forth. Yes, thank you so much. I will rest well, or as Krauser and Fatal Fury would say, I'll chisel your grave. Sleep well. Well, I mean, nobody chisel my grave, but I will try to sleep well. And with my more sleep, who knows? Maybe I'll get some more schoolwork done a little earlier, which kind of opens the space for more streaming. Next stream will be Friday at the latest. But if I do have some free time and I'm feeling social, and I kind of get ahead of the game in terms of my schoolwork, just keep an eye out on your YouTube notifications for both streams, or also, you know, just general new videos that I will put out. So yeah, but seriously, guys, once again, I'm really grateful that you're loyal viewers and that you're friends, and that we can all talk about stuff that we like, and just kind of hang out with each other, and then leave the door open for other people to hang out too. So until next time, crew, my name is Noel. You take care, and I will see you in the very near future. Bye-bye.